Minecraft isn't fun anymore. Have you tried automating dinosaur nuggets in Minecraft though? No? Me neither, but I want to. Anyways, welcome to boooorrrrriiiinnngggg, the final bastion for science and automation nerds, although probably seconded by supersymmetry. I got a problem. I can't really automate anything in my world yet. My most advanced machine is a glorified hammer, and I want to change that. How do I change? Well, it's not from some farm art, no, it's from technology. We're going into the low voltage age, baby. To start the LV arc, we oddly gotta go meet Santa Claus. In the Arctic areas of my world, small clusters filled with quartz and rose quartz generate in the oceans, perfect for easy extraction. Live action Dewey has a few words to say to you guys, so let's let him talk. Okay, editing Dewey. Continue with Makesgiving. That's nope. All good, whole thing is cleared out. Time to go home. Okay, so I died coming back because I forgot to get food. Forgot to pack food. So what I'm gonna do, and I want to record this just so I have it as like proof, is teleport to my body because I already tried to swim to my corpse. You know, the normal way, the non-cheaty way, but I clicked off and forgot to pause and I drowned. So there we go. So yeah, I'm actually gonna go home normally now. Oh, great. Okay. I somehow died a second time, so I'm just gonna do this again real quick. Okay, I wanted to get this on camera, just so I have proof, but I'm making my first batch of red and blue steel. That's just my first batch of blue steel. Can you shut up? Oh yeah, I have to explain this. I'll do that later. There we go. Alright, just wanted to show you guys proof that I did it legit. After fetching those tiny stones, I began working on my new workshop building. So while past Dewey struggles to make a decent looking basement, I should probably tell you guys my idea behind this build. I really wanted this world to make me build more than normal, because I often have a habit of reusing the same styles over and over again. For this build, I found some pictures online that are mostly cyberpunk with a touch of steampunk mixed in. I find the way the build looks a bit like a bunch of separate pieces very intriguing and gives it a unique style compared to most builds that are cohesive by default. Also, zooming out, here's a rough idea of how I want my base to look like. I want to separate my automation into multiple buildings instead of a single all-encompassing base that houses everything. When I eventually get AE2, there will be an underground maintenance tunnel system connecting everything to the AE2 network. This will also give me a chance to experiment with building in different styles. I'm thinking an industrial style for oil processing and a sterile white lab style for cleanroom automation, for example. Since I'm discussing buildings, I thought I mentioned I made a bee garden and a decent looking tunnel off camera. Pretty boring to make, but I think it looks nice. After mining some coal, mining some mushes, and making a moss roof onto the newly constructed building, I moved my create stuff from one basement to another. I didn't plan this out properly, however, since I constantly needed to go back and forth to use my create machines and my steam machines. But anyways, now I can finally get to making electronics.
You shouldn't say that. SUPXR.
Basic electronic circuits. And now a basic steam turbine, which was a pain to make as with all machines preceding this point in progression. To power this turbine we need steam, obviously, so I made 4 solar steam boilers so I didn't need constant creosote production. Up to this point I've been vacuumizing K-pop logs for 100 millibuckets of latex each, which takes forever. Being the smooth-brained individual I am, I only now begun actually tapping K-pop trees for latex. However, they can only produce in the summer months, so I'm halted on production for most of the year. After some time, I made my first ever machine, not including the turbine, a basic chem reactor for easier rubber vulcanization, followed by a fluid solidifier to not only solidify liquid rubber, but to also make sticky resin more efficiently. Isoprene rubber is now easier than ever to produce in bulk. Making it the primitive way was so tedious. The next day IRL, I finished the tunnel while listening to some BB. Eve Romance is such a good album. The next day, I made a bunch more circuits, which were then used to make a LV mixer, LV laser engraver, LV polarizer, LV assembler, LV extractor, and a ULV sifter. All of that, in some way or another, contributed to me making a stock ticker and packager. With these, along with a few vaults and a blaze burner, I officially have a baby AE2 system. This pretty basic setup allows me to pull all my stuff into a vault and lets me retrieve anything from it on demand. Finally having baby AE2, I wanted to switch to working on my workshop. On the side of the extruded part of the building, I want to put a yellow sign saying LV to give it a tad more cyberpunk feel. Unfortunately, the recipe for lamps needed liquid yellow dye, but, like the lollipop on screen, I used the acetic acid recipe for making dye and not the normal sulfuric acid one. To make acetic acid, you need carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, so I thought the best way to obtain that stuff was through centrifuging air. So after making a centrifuge, I realized I needed an air collector, which needs an item filter, which needs lapis. This small bit of footage doesn't describe the amount of time and deaths it took me to find this lapis vein. To add a sweet cherry on top of this sewage-flavored sundae, I found a bastion on my way back. While making the lamps, I discovered that you can float with hydrogen. Is this realistic? Absolutely not. Not taking into account the bucket's weight, a cubic meter of hydrogen would only lift about 1.1 kilograms. After making the lamps, I made an arc furnace for annealing copper, which has a plethora of miscellaneous benefits. Annealing, coming from the medieval word anellen, meaning to set on fire or to bake, I've come to learn is actually pretty cool. How it works is simple. A metal, being copper in this case, is heated up to a point between when it solidifies or crystallizes and when it melts, kind of making it squishy in a sense. This heat allows the metal molecules to realign into their previous positions, fixing many issues caused when it solidifies quickly. This process makes the metal easier to be formed into plates, foils, and wires, as well as reducing its hardness, crucial in making conductive wires used in cold environments, aka anything below 673 Kelvin. Yap aside, past Dewey discovered what disguise kits are and had a field day with them, turning himself into a paraplegic bee and a piglin. Also, past Dewey would like to say that, in quote, flying piglin. But anyways, after making a tank for more rubber and boiling some vareniki, the Ukrainian vegetable dumpling, I made some batteries and some night vision goggles. After some actual progress, I decided to procrastinate and make a hidden Greek fountain. Is there a montage? Oh, yes. Okay, play it.
I got some bad habits, too many to count. Need a trash bag, cause I need to throw them out. I might be an addict, cause I don't care about them out. And that's a bad habit, that's a bad habit. I got some bad habits, too many to count. Need a trash bag, cause I need to throw them out. I might be an addict, cause I don't care about them out. And that's a bad habit, that's a bad habit. Yeah, I'm off that alcohol, dream my fucking lungs out. Drop a couple bands.
There's no purpose to this, just wanted to be honest. Getting back to actual progress, I went into some diode crafting. Diodes are such a pain, mainly due to the gallium arsenide used as its conductors. I think they're conductors at least. I needed to make an ore washer in sodium persulfate in order to wash bauxite ore to scrape the bits of gallium off the ore. Secondly, the arsenic was retrieved by centrifuging realgar. We mix, we melt, we mill, and boom, electronic ready diodes. Now we need the boards for the circuitry to actually go on. This process requires liquid bakelite, which is actually known to be the first fully synthetic plastic according to Google. I won't break down the process piece by piece, but methane plus oxygen equals formaldehyde, formaldehyde plus phenol equals phenolic resin plus treated chipboard composite equals liquid bakelite. Liquid bakelite as a function of the fluid solidifier creates bakelite ingots, and those ingots as a function of the bender gives me foils. Press a wooden board with this foil along with some paper and boom, phenolic boards. It was then at this point where I got sidetracked and got addicted to playing Vintage Story for a week. That game's so fun. If you want to see something with this on the channel, let me know. I'd genuinely be so down. Getting back on track, I made a circuit assembler for uber cheap circuits, basically cutting costs in half and removing the need for the deployer chain. Goodbye deployer chain, you will not be missed. I also made a lathe during this time. because why not? Okay, time for the EBF montage, a process too boring to explain.
Get right into it, something big, got me hooked again. I'm trying to hook up again, because I like benefits. I wanna be more than friends. Then you throw it up, I had to catch it like, oh my god, how you do that behind it? I real wicked thing nice, I'm trying to break it.
I finally have an EBF ready to smelt some aluminum. And yes, it's aluminum, not aluminium. These first bits of aluminum were used to make me factory gauges, thus ushering us into the automation era fully. But that's for next episode. This already took me over a month to record and let alone produce fully. Thank you fellas and fellows for watching. Bye bye.